Well, hello everybody. It's the end of another month. This time in the month of October. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. So happy Halloween to you all. Thank you so much for another wonderful month of episodes I placed on there and all of your comments and all your likes. I really do appreciate it. So now we've reached the end of October, and which is time for my newest additions. And I've added 11 games this time around. Actually, it was kind of funny because the first half of October, I hadn't picked up anything. There was really nothing going on over at McKay's. Nothing was really coming about. So I'm like, wow, this is going to be a real short list. But luckily, the second half of October really turned it on, and I've actually found, I think, some pretty decent games, I think. So let's get right to it. So the first one I'm going to show you is the episode I just did, was Push. This is a game that you can find at Barnes & Noble. You can also find it on eBay for a decent price. It doesn't go for much. I think I paid about $6 for this over at McKay's. I used my credit, so I didn't have to pay for it. But it is a great push your luck game. If you want to see the episode, I just did the episode. You can go back and check it out, what it's all about. But pretty much what you're doing is you're going to do up to 3 columns where you cannot, when you're drawing cards one card at a time, you cannot put it the same color or the same number in the same row. If you bust, then any cards that you have in front of you, you have to roll this die right here. Whatever color shows up, you lose all those colored cards unless you get the black star that's right here. Then you're safe. Unless down the road you can bank those cards and keep them out. So if you do roll that color, they're safe. So it's a pretty cool little game. A little fun. I mean, who doesn't like a good push or luck game, right? And this is definitely a good game, a great card game to play. Especially the more players you have, the better. Because then again, I mean, it is fun because once you grab a row, then another player has to grab a row. And of course, if you have those black cards with the dice on them, then they have to roll. And then that's when the intensity starts going on, especially when someone that hasn't banked anything, and they might have 4 or 5 colors of each row, they're going to be losing a lot of points. But anyway, let's get to the next game. So Push was the first game I got. The second one is Riverboat Showdown. This is an oldie. This is a Whitman game here. It's a 2 to 4 player game. It's actually a card game, and I'm trying to remember exactly what this is about. I know I got this right, one of the first ones I got, but I do like the old-fashioned cards the way they look. Looks really cool. Has the Riverboat Showdown on the back of these cards. It's a very, very easy game. I'm going to have to remember how to play that. I honestly do not remember. I think there's, again, let's see, yeah, there's 8 cards. And I believe if you have to match that number or something, and if you don't, then you have to pay a chip. I'm not sure. But, well, I'll go over it. I'll do a quick little episode on it pretty soon. It's the Riverboat Showdown. I just like that it was only a couple bucks. It's pretty old. Let me see. Does it have the year on here? It probably doesn't because I'm taping. 1976. So this is a pretty old game. So Riverboat Showdown is another one I got. This game is Hippo. This is a cute little game here. It's called Hippo. And it's, let's see, it's ages 6 to 99, 2 to 4 players. Only takes about 15 minutes to play, and you're actually rolling the dice, and you're trying to place these little life preservers in certain numbers. But the thing is, you're trying to get rid of all your life preservers. But the problem is, in the first half of the pool, you can only fit 2 life preservers. So say I put one in there under 3, and then someone else rolls a 3, they put theirs, mine gets pushed up, and then if a third person does it, my life preserver goes out, it gets bumped out, and it gets put back into my possession. So you're really trying to get rid of all your life preservers. The second part of the pool allows 3 different life preservers. The first part, 2. And then the middle is where the hippo is. If you're able to put it in the 7 area, then it stays in that area and it doesn't come back to you. So it's a pretty cool little light game. I have not done an episode on it yet, but hopefully pretty soon I will get this out and show you how to play Hippo. All right? All right, next game I'm going to show you is actually kind of an expansion to a game that I've had for a while. I have not done an episode on Gloom. This is a card game, and what's really cool about these cards is they're translucent, so you can actually see through them. Well, this isn't the game I got. I actually got Gloom the 2nd edition, which is an expansion to the first one, which gives you a 5th family and some residences that go into play that give you special powers that you can do along the way. A brief little description of Gloom is you are a family that is just, the more miserable you are, the better. So in this game, the more negative points you have, the better. And once you have a certain amount of negative points that you want to keep, hopefully you have a death card, and you can kill off one of your family members. That's the best part about the game. Once you kill off all 5 of your family members, if you have the most negative points in the game, wins. So that's just kind of cool. So any positive points or any positive cards you get, you want to give them to your other players because that's making them happy. And you don't want to be happy in this game. You want to be very, very miserable. So when you have positive points, you actually give them to another player to add points to the other players. But the thing is about Gloom is they want it to be a storytelling game. So they'll say a little something on the top, and they want you to come up with a story of what happened to this person, how they got to do, how they got to this situation, and then go with whatever the saying is on the top of the card, instead of just giving a card and say, here's 15 points. It's like a storytelling game. So they kind of Gloom, the second edition, you can see it says unhappy homes. So they actually add residences in here. Where in the original one here, it says the game of inauspicious incidents and grave consequences. So this one comes with 4 families. Each player is a family of either 4 or 5, depending on how many players you have. When this one just adds a 5th family, other cards, and residences. So Gloom, 2nd edition, I added. So hopefully I'll be getting to an episode with this pretty soon. All right. We have The Lady and the Tiger. This is a beautiful card game. And it's actually cool because it actually has 5 different games you can play in this. They have Doors, Favor, Hoard, Labyrinth, and Traps. So they're all, some of them are a deduction game, a bidding game, a puzzle game, a maze game, and a bluffing game. They have all 5 of these all wrapped into one. Now, all the player count really varies. It really depends on which game you're playing. You see here, Doors is a 2-player, that's 2 to 4, 1-player, 2-player, and 2 to 6. So it varies on what game you play. This game is on BGG. The only one that's on there is Doors, I believe. I think that is the version that's on Board Game Arena, or BGG, I'm sorry, BGA, Board Game Arena. So I'll probably be teaching that one. I'm not going to go through all 5 variations. So I'll probably go through the Doors variation. So if you are on BGA, you'll be able to go on there and play it. So this will be an upcoming one. I literally just got this yesterday. So Lady and the Tiger, very, very beautiful card game. I'll be showing this to you very soon. Along with that, I've got Pot de Vin. Now, this is a card game as well. It's a trick-taking game, but it's not just your average trick-taking game. In this game, what you're doing is you're actually trying to... It's one of those where if you have a few tricks, you get a lot of points, and then if you get too many tricks, you get a bunch of negative points, but then if you go beyond that, then you get more points. So I like the way the point system is, depending on what kind of suit you get on the card, depends on how many points you get per thing. So if you only get like 1 or 2 of those, then you probably get some good points. But then if you get 4 through 6 or 7 of them, then you get big negative points. But then if you get 8 to 10 or something along those lines, then you get more points. So you're always trying to keep track of how many of each suit you have and try your best not to win too many or not to lose too many tricks. So it's a pretty cool game. It looks great. The art is fantastic on this. It's Pot de Vin. So I just got this yesterday with Lady and the Tiger. So I literally, like I said, just got these yesterday. Watched videos on them, and I liked them, and that's why I picked them up. Picked them both up yesterday. And it was actually at the Chattanooga McKay's, not here in Knoxville. All right, the next one we're going to show is Kanagawa. This is a painting game. Now, this is kind of cool because there's paintbrushes you need to get along the way. There's pictures, and what you do is you take cards, and you have to use these cards, whether you're using to paint or you go to school and you actually learn these different colors that you can do along the way. And it's really cool. Hey, if you have certain many in a certain row, then you get bonus points. Like if you get the same one so many times in a row, you get bonus points for that. So it's a really cool little game. I got this for like $10, and it's by Aiello Games, and I like it. I like it a lot. Here's a kind of what it kind of looks like there. You see these are the paint brushes right here that allow you, and it has like different cards. You have different rows, and what you do is each row will come out, and then you choose whether you want to take a row or you want to pass, and then a second row, and then a third row. And each one of you will choose one of the rows of cards, but each row has a card that's face down, so you don't know what that is. So yeah, Kanagawa. I'll be showing this to you pretty soon. I got this literally just a few days ago as well. Most of this stuff was probably within the last week I got. So that's why I really haven't done episodes except for Push. I got that right at the halfway point of the month, so that's why I was able to do an episode on that one. So Kanagawa. All right. The next one I've already done an episode on was The Downfall of Pompeii. I really like this one. The volcano was really cool. In this game, what you're trying to do is there's two different parts to the game. Now, I have done an episode just a few episodes back. So if you're interested in seeing how this game plays or how to play it, you can go a couple episodes back. It's in there. The first part of the game, you're trying to get as many people into Pompeii. Then there's a first warning where there's an earthquake where people come in, they try to fix the place. That's kind of the storyline. And then once the second volcano erupts, once the second warning comes, that's when the volcano starts to erupt. And that's when you start placing volcano tiles. And if there are any players are on those spaces where a tile's going in, you're getting thrown into the volcano. The person who gets the most people out of Pompeii wins the game. And the kicker is, if there is a tie, say me and somebody else have rescued 8 people out of Pompeii, then you lift the volcano, and whoever has the least amount of people in the volcano then wins the game. So pretty cool little game. It's a light game. You get to know it doesn't take too much to kind of learn. I think the only part is learning how when you actually get to put more people in different houses. You if there's one person in there already and you lay someone in there, okay, you put one more person. That's the second part of it's kind of the second half of the first part of the game. So very interesting little game. Downfall of Pompeii. Okay. The next game I'm going to show you, let's see what we got here, is, actually I think there's 2 more left, is Foil. Foil I finally added as another 3M game. So I got to add this, finally found it for about $5 or $6. This is a word game where you're actually getting a bunch of letters in your hand. And once you feel that you can make 3 words out of it, you slap down. And that's when the play stops and you put together 3 words, but you jumble them together. You jumble them all up. Say you have the word, I don't know, house. Then you take those 5 letters and you jumble them up and you put them in. Then you have a second word and a third word. And then if they don't guess it or guess it, there's certain points for different ones. There's certain points if you use certain letters. You get bonus points. You get bonus points if they don't guess it right. And there's all sorts of, the scoring is crazy in this game because there's like 10 different areas that you can score points on. Very unique game. But I think I'll like this. I picked this up probably about a week or 2 ago. I found it and I was pretty happy to find it because that was not one of the 3M games that I have in here. So Foil is that one right there. Now you probably noticed in the last few episodes, I have a couple little friends up here. First we had Tron. He was here by himself, and eventually I found Sark. I'm a big Tron fan, love Tron. So he came first. I couldn't help myself. I had to get him. There's good old Tron. He has a full-on thing there. That is so awesome. And I had to pick up Sark. I found him, and I just, there you go. So I guess we can count them into our newest additions. They're not games, but I had to get them. I was very skeptical of Tron Legacy, but wow, what a sequel to that movie. I was probably, if you're a Tron fan back in the 80s and you heard that this movie was coming out, 30 years later, I'm like, oh man, they're going to ruin it. No, it was actually very good. So I'm very happy to hear that they're even trying to make a Tron 3, but things aren't quite taken off. But who knows, maybe in a couple years they'll have it back up and running. But right now it seems to be grounded, so we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, so I wanted to introduce you to Tron and Sark. They've been kind of chilling up here. Probably the last 4 episodes. Tron was up there by himself, and then Sark all of a sudden he appeared. I actually got him from eBay. I found him I found him at Kay's, actually. And then I went in and I got him, so, because it's 2 of his set. So I had to get both of them there. Okay, and I also found 2 small little card games. Iota. This game has these little cards, and I guess they match different colors and different shapes and all that stuff, and you have to do it a certain way. I just picked this up, so I'm not sure, but let's see how tiny the cards are. It's one of these, and it came with Punto. And this is also, it kind of comes in the thing here. It also has different cards. It has numbers and stuff that you have. I haven't read on these yet, but these are 2 from Gamewright that I picked up. Punto and Iota. So those are 2 that I want to add to the list. And then finally, this one, I've heard of it. I've seen it around. Wasn't interested. I'm like, Finally, I saw it over at McKay's. Excuse me, it was a brand new copy, still sealed. I looked at it, I'm like, this game, I don't know why, I'm just curious. Went home, watched a couple videos on it. And I thought, wow, this is one of those deduction games, one of those player deduction games. And I watched, there was a video or 2 that showed a playthrough of it. And I'm like, I need to get this. Well, of course, I went back, it was gone. I'm like, what are the odds of this game showing up again? it showed up again. This time this one wasn't new. It wasn't sealed, but everything is in exact. It's just in perfect condition. It is Secret Hitler. This is a game. This is a social deduction game, and here's the side of it here. And at first I was like, no. But what's cool is it's some players are fascists and some players are liberals. Obviously, the liberals are the good guys, and the fascists are the bad guys, and Hitler's a part of the fascists. Now, what's cool about this game, and it's nice and it has good taste, is, you know, if you are the player that's Hitler, it is not a picture of him. It is a lizard, believe it or not. They use like lizard people for fascists, that's kind of cool, you know. And I think the liberals are like eagles or something. I'm trying to remember. But anyhow, it's a very interesting game, really fascinating game. I think it's 5 to 10 players. This is a high play count, and what it is each person is getting. I'll be doing an episode on this very soon because I want to definitely show this off. It's a lot of talking amongst each other, trying to say, "Oh, I'm liberal, because of course you want to be liberal, you want to pretend like you're liberal, you know, oh yeah, and that's why it's called Secret Hitler, because only the fascists know who Hitler is, but Hitler doesn't know who the fascists are, so you just don't know. So, but anyway. Those are all of my added games of this month. So hopefully I did well this month. It took about the second half of the month to finally start getting up to 11, because I had 0 going up to about the 13th or 14th of the month. So I was getting a little worried there. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, some months are better than others. Some days are better than others. Some weekends are better than other weekends when people turn in games. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for watching my newest editions of October of 2022. And until next time, everybody, thank you so much for watching. As always, I always appreciate your support and your likes and your shares and subscriptions and all that good stuff, because I really enjoy doing these, and I'll be doing lots more. All right, thank you, everybody, once again. And as always, happy gaming.